What is your favorite car of all time?
I would say that I would have used about maybe 120 cars in this short span of my life.
I can see that you like cars.
I love cars. My favorite car, if you ask me, is the teachers would never believe that I could pass out from the school. I was a Kerala University basketball player. My co-players were all 6'1", 6'2", and all. I was only the 5'4" guy, and my coach always tells me, "You are the man who is going to make the game win or lose." I said, if I'm staying back here, you have to give me a car to go to the college.
That was a deal with your dad.
That was a deal with my dad. After one year later, I met with an accident with that car. And my dad said, why I gave you this car? A girl came in the other side of the counter. So she looked at me and I looked at her. That's all that we had. First meeting. And
Was that a spark?
this is part. I used to drink, but I fall into purely an alcoholic person. Doctors wrote a very bad note on my life.
What did they tell you?
They told me that your brain is half finished after the treatment. A lot of people ask me, did any pastor pray for you? Did you go for any charismatic retreat or anything? I said, no. He came straight from home. That's the turning point.
You had a personal encounter with
Yes. But one thing I can tell you here is, Viju Jacob did not do anything. I was an instrument in God's hands. I sleep around 3 hours, so I can't say that I'm early bird.
I sleep 8 hours. I think I should leave the interview now. Hey everybody, welcome to a very special episode, a very special podcast. It is my joy and honor to bring this special episode and podcast to you. So wherever you're tuning in from, I hope you're ready to take down some notes. I hope you're ready to receive something new. We've been having some, solo podcasts over the last few months. I had some interviews in the beginning of the year, but this one is a very special one. And in fact, it is my mother who wanted me to, do this very special interview. And this person has been very close to our family. And we have all been so inspired, and many people have been inspired by his life and the legacy that he's been leaving with the next generation as well. We've seen him on social media for cars. We've seen him on social media for his successes, for his businesses. But we are here to uncover some truths. We are here to ask him some real questions. And I hope you're ready to receive something new. So joining us today is Dr. Viju Jacob, the Managing Director of Synthite Industries. This is the world's largest producer of spice extracts, essential oils, and spice powders, which is amazing. Synthite is not just a company, it's a pioneering force founded by the visionary late C.V. Jacob. And under Viju Uncle's leadership, it has grown to be a global enterprise with operations in China, Brazil, India, USA, Vietnam, and Sri Lanka, and many other countries. They cater to some of the world's biggest brands like Nestle, PepsiCo, Unilever, ITC, just to name a few. He's been a friend to my dad. But recently, we have bonded over cars, technology, and many other things. So it is my joy and my honor to have you part of the podcast. So we want to welcome you, Viju Uncle, to this podcast.
Thank you, Nehemiah, for making me as a person to sit for your podcast for today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I have some very interesting questions to ask you.
Always.
Yeah, so let me start with the first segment. The first segment, I want to start about your upbringing. I want to talk about your origin story. Every superhero has an origin story. I believe every person has an origin story. And let's start from the beginning. The Bible talks about in the beginning. Let's start from the beginning. How was your life? How did it start? Growing up, I want to know about your childhood. I want to know about your upbringing. So I know you were born into a business family, but let's start with that.
Okay. At the age of 3.5, I had to be going to the school, but I was in the hostel in a school.
3.5 years.
Yeah. And that's the St. Joseph English Medium School in Kalamassery.
Okay.
And from there, it was a tough journey for me because I don't remember those days, but I know that I was missing my dad and mom. And because my siblings, everybody is, 2 elder sisters were studying in the same school.
Okay.
But I was missing basically my mother and father.
Yeah.
But at that time, I was since it was run by the nuns, so they were my parents actually, I would say.
Okay.
They taught me how to do my brushing and everything.
Okay.
Because at the age of 3.5, it's tough to do all this stuff
Yeah.
own. But when you're at home, your mother will help you to do all these things.
That's right.
So at that age, I was in the school, and till 4th standard, I was in St. Joseph's School. From there, I moved out to Rajagiri School,
Okay.
and there I turned my life into a different stuff altogether. Because basically that was a boys' school,
Okay.
and I trained myself because if you ask me, I was not a great student in my subjects and all.
All right.
But most of the time I used to play around. Play around in the sense that I was a good basketball player. I was a good cricket player. I was a good footballer. I was a good athlete. So in those things, I was very active.
You're primarily in the basketball team.
In the basketball, I was the captain of the Rajagiri team.
Okay.
And
That's interesting to know.
I was the wicketkeeper of the Rajagiri team, and
Okay.
I was the forward of the football team.
Because you're not the tallest in a basketball team.
Exactly. I was the shortest in the basketball team.
Oh, wow.
Because I was a playmaker for Rajagiri.
Okay.
And from there, and sports, if you ask me, I was first in 100 meters, 200 meters, 1,500 meters, pole vault.
So you had a competitive spirit in
I
you.
had a competitive spirit because I'll come to that later.
Okay.
So, from there, anyway, a lot of teachers used to help me out to study because since I spent a lot of time in the ground for playing around the games. So, a lot of teachers helped me as you know, that Rajagiri is run by fathers.
Yes. I studied in Rajagiri,
Yeah, I know.
Kalamasheri.
Yes. So at that time, this priest used to help me out to make my homework done properly and all those things. But I passed out the SSLC during that time.
Okay.
And that was the teachers would never believe that that I could pass out from the school. Anyway, by God's grace, I made it, and I got a second class, not a first class, but a second class.
I think that's a good encouragement for students who struggle a little bit in their studies. You know, because now they've just gotten the exams. It's not just about your 10th or 12th results, right? That defines your life.
Right.
You know, I mean, if you look at your life, you might not have done amazing in studies. There might be students who have scored full A+, but they might not have achieved everything in life.
Exactly. And from there, I came back home after my schooling.
Okay.
And my father asked me, what is your next plan? So I said, I would like to go to Bangalore. I was interested in studying in Sacred Arts, Christ College in Bangalore. So Dad said, one of you can go, my brother or you.
Okay.
So he said, then he said, you stay back here. And for the pre-degree, we both went to Marivianus College.
Okay.
Since I was a basketball player, I was playing in the basket. But there was a big turning point in Marivianus College. I was better in my curriculum. At the same time, I was good in in the sports also.
Okay.
So I was doing both good.
Okay.
So that was even surprising for me because I feel that the teachers they taught me very well because my subject was in economics.
Okay.
So they used to teach me very well. So I was interested in that subject basically.
Yeah.
Not rather like SSLC, you learn everything, Hindi, Malayalam, everything. But certain things you don't need in life.
So now
but
you could focus in on the subjects you like.
I could focus on my subjects.
That's good.
So I was good in doing in my pre-degree time.
Yeah.
And I was a basketball player, and I was a Kerala University basketball player.
Okay.
And I was a playmaker for Marivianus College. So
Okay.
that was a big challenge for me because rest of my co-players were all 5'8", 6'1", 6'2", and all. I was only the 5'4" guy who was making the entire game. And my coach always tells me, you are the man who is going to make the game win or lose.
Okay.
And every
The
day,
difference maker.
Difference maker. So
Yeah.
he used to tell me, go and see a couple of young short people playing basketball. So the speed.
Okay.
So I used to go and play in the morning around 4:30 in the morning, and so he used to train me to make movement faster. So I was very fast in the court.
Okay.
I was the fastest man in the court. So otherwise I could not transfer my ball to other guy.
Yeah.
So I should be faster than the 5'8" or 6 foot. So that
could turn better.
I can turn better. I can
Yeah.
move faster.
Yeah.
Than them. So
Yeah.
that was a great advantage for me when we won the university. And it was a great appreciation on me, saying that, you made the game good. Anyway, that term went on, and after pre-degree, I left to came back to Cochin.
Okay.
Cochin, when I came in, that's the time when my father asked, "Are you staying back here or are you going to Bangalore?" I said, there was two conditions. I said, if I'm staying back here, you have to give me a car to go to the college.
Okay.
Then the next question he asked, why? I said, all my friends are coming in the car, and I cannot go by bus. In Trivandrum, I was going by bus and train. From Kolanjeri to Trivandrum was on the train or the bus. And internal transportation also, I was going in the bus. I said, here, if I want to hold on to Cochin, then you should give me a car.
That was a deal with your dad?
That was a deal with my dad.
Okay.
So finally he agreed with me.
He wanted you to stay in Cochin?
He wanted me to stay in Cochin.
Okay.
So I said, and one more condition, I said, I will not go from my house. I want to have a place in Cochin. We had a building in Cochin. So he made a penthouse for me, similar to where we are sitting. So it was a spacious room. And at that time, at that age, I don't think nobody will get those kind of facility. Anyway, I got the
You made the most out of...
I moved out of my age.
Yeah.
So he gave me the car. So 1 year left. First year, I joined in Sacred Arts College, Devara.
Okay.
Where I met my wife today.
Amazing.
And I'll talk about that bit later.
Yeah.
But in that journey, he gave me the car. 1 year it went. First year.
That was your first car?
First car, the Fiat.
Okay.
So after that, after 1 year later, I met with an accident with that car. And my dad said, why I gave you this car? I said, it happened. But still, he understood my attitude, and then he said, why don't you go and buy a scooter then? Then I said, I did not want to buy a scooter, but he said, you buy a scooter, then you'll understand the good and bad of car and a scooter. Because I used to go in the scooters, but not that much.
Yeah.
But he bought me a scooter. Then he said, later on, he gave me another car. Because he doesn't want me to shy off from the crowd. Because otherwise, all my friends would say that, this came in a car and then went into a scooter. Anyway, before the day of joining in Sacred Hearts College, Devara, in the registration counter, I was just standing. Suddenly, a girl came in to the other side of the counter, and she was giving her thing.
Okay.
So she looked at me and I looked at her. That's all that we had first meeting. And
was there a spark?
There's a spark. So she joined. Then we went to the class. I saw she coming to the class.
Same class.
Same class. I never knew that she was in the BCom.
Okay.
She did that, and we started conversations, and slowly we became attached, and that's how our marriage happened.
It was like God put both of you in one class.
Yes. And before that, after that, before that, I would say something. When I was in the degree course, in the final year, my father bought me another proposal from another family.
Okay.
When I said no. Then he asked me why. Then I said, I want a girl who's praying for me.
Okay.
That's all that I want. I'm not looking at the beauty of the girl. I'm not looking at any of the factors of the house. No, I am not concerned about that. I want a person who can sit and pray for me. That's all.
Okay.
Exactly, I got that. I got a beautiful girl, at the same time, a prayerful girl. So
Amazing.
This is all that's exactly what I wanted in my life. Exactly, God gave me that.
Yeah.
That was a great turning point.
Amazing. Can I go a little back to what you said? You talked about sports. You talked about waking up at 4:30 a.m. or hitting the court at that time. As young people, we have a lot of energy. We want to spend it somewhere. Okay. Now what's happening is because the phones are so readily available, our screen times are so high, most of our energy are spent, behind this, and it's suppressed energy, and we're not able to do anything with it. That's why many people are turning into, substance abuse, and many young people are turning into all those things. And I totally believe that sports has, the ability to let you express, this thing.
I 100% what you said is correct, because when you're in the sport channel,
Yeah.
what happens is you don't think about anything. You're not even, see, you wanted to excel in that
Yeah.
because you're getting energies, high energy levels. When you play more, have got more high energy levels. And in the sports, what's happening is you can see the life in sports, because you fail,
That's right.
you win.
That's right.
Even if you fail, you'll try to win.
That's very good. Yeah.
So that's the point that, you see, I always say that, I'm a businessman. Any businessman should have that kind of approach towards life, towards business.
Yes.
So sporting, because as you rightly said, I'm the manager of the St. Peter's College, Kolancheri. I promote a lot of youngsters for sports,
Yeah.
for volleyball, for sports like athletics, like long jump. A lot of national students. I'm even sponsoring children. You know why? Because exactly what you said is right. Because the children should exhaust their energy somewhere,
Yes.
not in the phones, not in drugs or anything, because that will deviate your life to a different. Altogether, you destroy your life. Basically, I should say, and you will be nowhere. You will not be recognized later on. When you wanted to come back, you will not be able to come back at some point. But some people escape from that because of they come out at the right time. Because most of the people doesn't get at the right time. But that's the reason you can every day you can see in the TV that a lot of things are happening because they are addicted to drugs. They don't know what they are doing. Basically, it is not their mistake. It's a upbringing of them in the situations. But for nowadays the children, in the schools and colleges, teachers cannot beat them. Teachers cannot.
Lot of restrictions.
Yeah, lot of restrictions. You cannot shout at them. A lot of things are there. So the children are taking full advantage of that. So if you ask me whether they can be taught properly or disciplined properly, yes, we can discipline properly. When you make a discipline in the college or in schools, you should make sure that the children in the school are comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So that sort of a counseling has to be given. Where are you now?
Yeah.
What are you doing today? So all this counseling can make a child a different child altogether. Because I would suggest that schools and colleges should have more counseling centers because you don't know the student is coming from home. You don't know whether they are seeing the parents fighting, coming to the school, or they're seeing father getting drunk and last night they drunk and coming to the school. There are a lot of challenges for the children also. You can't 100% blame the child.
That's right.
Because where is he coming from? What situation is coming from? That also is a very important thing. Which house is coming from? What sort of a experience that he had last night? A lot of things are related. So automatically your mind get deviated to different other things. Your friends can influence you. Your teachers can influence you. A lot of influence comes from outside. Plus your mobile phones. All these things can influence you and take you in a different direction altogether.
Now, talking about upbringing, right? I want to double click on that. You were born and raised in a business family. Of course, you were having, your life a little separate from them because you were in boarding school. But now coming back after your degrees, when you joined the business in the 80s, how was it joining your father's business? How did your father groom you in business? Because I know your father is a legendary guy. He's a pioneer, right? At that time, having a business like this was way ahead of his time, right? But I also have heard from you that your father was very strict and you had a very tough time in the beginning. So I want you to talk a little bit about that because sometimes it's really difficult to work along with people that are very strict, but oftentimes it's for our best.
Yeah. See, I joined in 1982 with my father. I knew my father's behavior very well because when I was studying in the school, when I come home, he asked me to by heart all the Malayalam poems and all.
Okay.
So if I don't repeat it again, he used to beat me and all.
Okay.
So I know what he is. So in 82, when I joined Synthite, it was a very tough time for me because maybe I did not go to his expectation or I did not understand him. One of these things has happened.
Okay.
It has happened because in Synthite, at the time, there were only few people in 82.
Okay.
Our turnover is around 35 to 40 crores.
Okay.
That was the turnover when I joined.
Okay.
And we had a subsidiary company called Herbalize Lights, where it was done for my brother-in-law. So my dad said, why don't you, in the morning you come to Synthite, in the afternoon you go to the Herbalize Lights company and do something there. So Synthite, my father was not keen enough for me. He doesn't want me to be there in Synthite, mostly to the Herbalize Lights. So he changed my timing. He said, you go in the morning there and do the afternoon in Synthite. So I went in the morning. So I said, nothing to do, because all what Herbalizers were doing was a job work for Synthite. Because we do a lot of distillation on spices, oil distillation.
Okay.
It's not a big, brilliant stuff. Steam gives, oil comes out. That's no use of a brain. So one day I told Dad, see, what's the point in me going there? I don't have anything to do there. It's not... No, you learn from that. He was very tough with me. Then I said, my brother-in-law used to come only once in a week. So one day I told him, see, what's the point in me coming? It's only you can manage the whole show. Then he said, I don't mind. You can go full-time Synthite.
Okay.
Then I told my father, see, when you're sending somewhere, you must give me the freedom to do it. So Herbalize Lights, then I started I went for a pepper conference in Cochin.
In Kochi, okay.
So a lot of people were there in the pepper conference. I was not a matured guy in those levels, but very seniors were there. So they're talking about dehydrated green pepper, pepper and brine and all. So that clicked my mind. So then I checked that how much of turnover each and everyone is doing. So I understood there's a turnover going up and down. And they are the pioneers in Cochin. And I don't know how far we'll be able to catch up with them. So I came to Herbalize Lights that night. This dehydrated green pepper was brooding in my mind. And I said, I want to do this in Herbalize Lights. I don't know the technology. I don't have anything. I went to the lab. I started doing it with my knowledge, a simple little knowledge, but there's no Google and all, no iPhone and all at that time, no phones at that time. So with my small wisdom, I could do a couple of things in the lab with my technical person in the lab. So we made a product, but I thought this is not success. So I went to Kottayam and I took another guy from one of my on the competition, the person who is working for a company like this, making dehydrated green pepper and brine. So I took him in the night. I bought about 1,000 kilos of green pepper to the factory. I called him in the night. He processed the material for me.
Okay.
So I understood what the process is. So when my brother-in-law came, he was not happy with me, but I did. Because I did it without anybody's permission. I did not even ask my dad's permission.
You were experimenting.
I was experimenting.
Yeah.
So I took 500 grams of sample to an exhibition in Germany. And that exhibition, one German guy came and asked me, is this your product? Yes. What's the price? I said, at that time, I remember it's about $10 or something like that. He said, can you give me 500 kilos?
Wow.
Exactly 500 kilos was processed with this quantity.
You had it in Germany?
No, I had it in India. He was excited about the product. From 500 kilos, today we are doing more than 3,000 tons.
Wow.
So where we are and what we are.
That is your experiment.
That was an experiment.
Wow.
So now that company is running on dehydrated green pepper. And then comes the pepper and brine. So my brother-in-law was not happy because too much of work. Every day he has to come. So a lot of things are happening in between. So I said, if you want to grow somewhere, you have to work. Then I went to CFTRA and I said, I would like to make pepper and brine. So they gave me 5,000 rupees you give the process system to do pepper and brine. 5,000 rupees I took the process system. Today they are doing more than 30, 40 containers of pepper and brine to Germany. Wow. So then my father knew, and then after that, I gave up everything to my brother-in-law, and then I moved out fully to Synthite. Then my father knew that this boy has got something in his stuff.
Yeah.
But still, he cannot recognize me. See, if you look at those age, those what do you call those generation, they will not accept your son. That's most of the families. It's like that. They don't accept your children properly.
Because the ideas are new.
Yes, thinking is different.
And it's a different, like that's the struggle that people call it generation gap even now.
Yeah.
Right.
See,
it's always been there.
Always been there. So that was too much. This is at least they can understand.
Yeah.
We are not going up to the new generation. Okay. Anyway, so then I came back to Synthite and full-time Synthite, and then in '85 we started the Coimbatore factory.
Okay.
Coimbatore factory. Then he said, you go and look out you are in full charge of the factory. So I took out the full charge of the factory. We were doing flower extractions for perfumery industry. So we were doing this flower extraction for a company called Cal in France, and we had a tie-up with them. After that, only that's a 6 months job, 6 months work.
Yeah.
So I said, we need to do something, another 6 months, how do you run the factory? So by God's grace, I would say Marigold came into the business. So we had a sign-up contract with a company in Mexico.
Yeah.
And we tied up with them, and we started producing material for them. First year, we did about 10 tons. Second year, they need more quantities. Finally, it became a big problem for us because we made 150 tons for them. But the Mexican company got liquidated. And so my dad said, but you need to go and find out what's happening in Mexico.
Okay.
So I went all the way to Mexico, and I saw the factory is closed. Then I asked the gatekeeper, he said, can you give me the CEO's number? So he gave me the CEO's number, I called him. He came in. He said, Viju, it's on bankruptcy. We can't do nothing on this. I said, what about the quantity that you have ordered with us? You don't have no other way. You have to sell it somewhere else. I was totally disappointed. I was flying from Mexico to Atlanta.
Okay.
Atlanta to...
This is when?
This is in 96, 97.
Okay.
Flew from all the way from Atlanta to Hong Kong. Hong Kong, in the flight, next seat, when Mr. Anthony came and sat next seat, he bought 2 cans of beer. So I asked him, you get beer in the aircraft? Why should you bring this beer inside to give to... Then he said, I came from China because he has got liver problems. So he wanted to use this beer to drink in the flight.
Okay.
So we started making conversation. Then immediately I asked, why you went to China? And he said, I went in search of marigold extract.
Oh, wow.
So...
And you're seated next to him.
I was sitting next to him. So I was just... then I thought, come on, we are going to do something. My mind was pricking me out.
You are a pure sales guy.
Pure sales guy.
You got into your office mode.
Yeah. So I said, let me start. So I said, what's the quantity of extract marigold you are going to... No, I want 150 metric tons, exactly what quantity in my stock. So then I asked him, can I show you something? Before that, I asked him, what is the price that it's sold in grams, not in kilos.
Okay.
So he said, for 1 gram, he's paying about 19 cents per gram. But at that time, I was selling at 12 cents.
Oh, wow.
So, and this 19 cents, what happened was, after he said 19 cents, then I opened my bag and I took the brochure out and I showed him, this is what Synthite is, this is what we are doing. And Anthony, what you said, you want 150 kilos, but I will not be able to give you at 19 cents, but I'll give you at 19.70, extra 7 cents. He was surprised. He looked at the brochure and said, he called for his beer. And he had a beer, and I'm also having beer. And we sat together and we started discussing. I said, can you come to my office tomorrow morning? That company is called Kemin Industries Private Limited.
Okay.
So I went there. A big president is sitting there from Australia. He said, Mr. Jacob, can you sign off this contracts? The contracts are ready in his table. I said, most welcome, I will sign it. I signed the contract and I came back. My dad was so happy, within second it happened. But one thing I can tell you here is, Viju Jacob did not do anything. I was an instrument in God's hands because He knew that I was in struggle. But I did not, at that time, I was not 100% faithful person to the Lord. But I understood that there's something is there.
Yeah.
So God was showing His support to me in every situations.
I think that's a story of your life.
Yes.
Right. There are moments where you have struggled and, but God has been very faithful and His grace has backed you up in different seasons of your life.
Exactly.
So I want to pinpoint to that last era of your 90s. This is when that you have also, talked about in your book, as well as you have talked about it as well, where you struggled a bit with alcoholism.
Yeah.
And perhaps it was difficulties in life that made you turn towards it. I want you to talk a little bit about that, especially highlighting, why you were forced to go into that, and how were you able to overcome it? Because there could be many people listening to me who are also, they might have started very small, but now they're not able to get out of it, right? Especially young people. It might not be alcohol. It might be different other substance abuses as well. But it can really hinder a person's growth, a person's trajectory in life. So how did you go through it and how did you overcome it?
See, after all this good things happened, still certain times good things happen, your parents will give a tap on your tap or appreciate you for 1 second.
Yeah.
After that, they forget it. So, as I told you, I had a very tough times with my father. So he became more tougher with me.
Okay.
So then automatically I used to drink, but I fall into purely an alcoholic person. And I don't know whether I would survive in this world or not. It was a big question for my whole family.
Okay.
Because alcohol was my first friend to be. And then a lot of things happened.
What made you turn into it?
Because, see, once you are in a business or in a family business or in any sort of things, if you are linked with an alcohol stuff or any addictions, first thing which comes into your mind is from the subconscious mind, this comes up. Okay, next escapism is not going and sitting and praying, but you're going and drinking with someone.
It's your coping mechanism.
Yeah, it's just a,
Stress
releaser, you can say. But that's not a stress release, I'm telling you today. At the time, I was struggling to get out from this, but I could not get out from that.
Okay.
But I went for treatments and I came out of that. But I will never say that I came out because of my treatment.
You had to go to a de-addiction.
Yes, I went to a de-addiction center, but I came back and doctors wrote a very bad note on my life. And
what did they tell you?
They told me that, your brain is half finished, to my parents as well as to my wife.
Oh.
And I came back home after the treatment. I don't know. Somehow I started reading the Bible.
So now I just want to slow there a little bit because I know there is some content there. You're in a de-addiction center. You've maybe recently you've done great businesses. You went to Mexico. You did all that. Now you find yourself here. It looks like a very low point in life. How do you bounce back from a situation like that?
After that, I'm coming home.
Okay.
I started depending upon the Bible.
Okay.
3 or 4 days I started reading the Bible. One day, every day morning, exactly by 3 o'clock.
Okay.
He calls me. I don't know how I get up.
Okay.
I started reading the Bible, but I don't understand anything. So one day I said, God, I don't understand anything. Let me go back to my old system. The first page that I took was Isaiah 43, 1-4.
Okay.
Now, this is what the Lord says, you created you, Jacob, who formed you, Israel.
It's Jacob. That's your
Call
name.
me by name.
That's your name.
And you are mine.
Wow.
And if you pass through the waters, you will not be swept. If you go to the rivers, you will not be swept.
Yeah.
If you go through the fire, you will not be burned.
That's right.
And
Powerful.
you are precious in my sight.
It's powerful, yeah.
So this made the whole change.
Oh, wow.
It turned me around. A lot of people ask me, did any pastor pray for you? Did any priest pray for you? Do you go for any charismatic retreat or anything? I said, no. He came straight from up.
That's amazing.
That's the turning point.
You had a personal encounter with
Yes. When I say that, the love of God was there with me, because he knew me very well. So that's what I always feel like. I always had a repentant heart.
Mm-hmm.
Always had a repentant heart.
Even if you would do some naughtiness, you would still come back.
Come back.
Okay.
Because that was always my repentant heart. Because I openly tell I have made a mistake.
You're willing to admit that.
Yeah. See, that's all God wants to.
That's right.
For all of us,
Absolutely.
God exactly wants, because we are human beings. We're made out of flesh. We are weak vessels.
Yeah.
We make mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you are not a human being. You will make a mistake, and you should be a righteous person like Jesus Christ. No, you are not. When you make mistakes, the God has given an opportunity for us to repent and come back and fill with the Holy Spirit. That's all God does. So when I fall into that and I came back, people are surprised. Then one day I told my wife, I said, I want to get baptized.
Wow.
Then I knew that if I baptized somewhere here, all my family would come to know about it. So I don't want to make a big mess out of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I went all the way to Hyderabad, and Michael Hughes at the time.
Okay.
Have you heard about him?
Yeah.
The preacher. So he baptized me in Hyderabad, and I came back.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk to my father and mother about this. So I went home and I closed his room and I said, Mom and Dad, so I'm baptized. Then he said, for what reason? I said, please look at John 3:3. When Nicodemus went there, what did God said? Unless and until you get baptized in the water and fire, you will not be born again.
Yeah.
And he asked the question he asked is whether you should go to the mother's womb second time. No.
Yeah.
So this I showed them. I said, this is what it is. So Dad looked at me and said, no problem.
Wow.
I'm happy with you.
That's such a relief, right?
So that's all that I wanted from my parents. I don't want any second this thing. I don't want anything like that. I want to make it very clear with my parents that I've turned around to this. From that date onwards, I don't know, miracles after miracles. So I went to the office back again, started my work. So when I came back, since I was out of office for 1.5 months, I was a bit out of position.
Yeah.
So then on one of the board meetings, I said that I would like to look out the Indian market. So my colleagues was telling me, told my father that the Indian market doesn't know what is spice oils and oleoresins are. Because it was true. Because, at the time, our turnover was only about 3 crores.
In the Indian market.
In the Indian market.
Okay.
And surprisingly, Dad said, let him look after. Let's see.
He has nothing to lose.
We have nothing to lose. If you gain 3 crores, go down, that's all. It's usually 3 crores business.
Yeah.
So he said, let him look after. First year, we made 16 crores. Second year, we made 35 crores.
It's a big jump.
It's a big jump. Second year, we made 35. Third year, we made 75. For third year, I put up a mail to everyone saying that 2011, 10, I'll make it to 120 crores.
You send it to everybody.
All the directors.
Wow.
Then next board meeting, everybody laughed at it. Viju, what are you talking about? I said, I'm seriously talking about serious things. They all laughed at it. Exactly the same date, March 31st, the company, we got a sales about 124 crores.
Wow.
So from this, people started calling me marketing guru, including my directors started calling me marketing guru. Because
So same people who laughed at you.
it's reversed. See, this is what I say. Like once you have faith in God, God can reverse everything.
Yeah.
That was my life. And people started calling me all marketing guru. All names came for me. So I said, God, thank you so much. for the great blessing that you gave to me. And because one blessing, I should think about my father to get his confidence. That was my first this thing. So what after that, whatever I tell my father, he used to agree. He said, go according to what Viju says. So a total turnaround.
Amazing.
And then there's a meeting was been held in this hotel itself.
Okay.
And that time there was a discussion that everybody should not look everything. So my brother was given a job.
Okay.
And my cousins were given a job. My brother-in-law was given a job. I was given marketing, entire Synthite marketing, and this Ramada Resorts hotel, hospitality.
Okay.
So marketing oleoresins and oils was not a big challenge for me because I got experience in that.
That is your game.
That's my game.
Yeah.
So when the international came together, so when international I was looking out the APAC region, like Singapore, Japan and all was under my control. Then everything came together into my hand. People thought that I'll fail. And the hotel, this industry was running on loss. Hospitality was running on loss. So they wanted to see a failure in me. By God's grace, I would say I was successful in everything I touched.
Wow.
This hotel was running on a loss. I made it a profit. This hotel had 48 rooms when they handed it over to me. Today is 76 rooms. And today is running on a heavy profit.
Wow.
And during the COVID time, everybody thought that, finished. So there's only one room. The employees are there. I have to cater the employees. So I called up the employees and said, come on, every hotel is giving only 50% cut. Salaries are 50% cut. What should I do? They all said that, no, sir, you can cut the salary. I cut the salary. 2021, after the COVID, I gave back, a prospective effect, I gave back the entire salary with 20% bonus.
Wow.
So what I thought was because any industry or any organization to run perfectly, you need to have people with you.
That's right.
And people, people with confidence. People also should build confidence with us also. Not that we are having confidence with them. They should also feel that, the company is taking care of me. That kind of a feel that you should give.
It should be a family.
It's a family. You should acknowledge them. They are also coming to work.
Them.
Yeah, value them. They are also coming to work. They have the family. We should consider them as one of our family members and try to be more simple with them.
Yeah.
You don't have to bring in a lot of chemistry or a lot of mathematics in front of them. You can work with them and make them think. See, that's the reason why this company is growing. This industry is going well. This hospitality division is growing well. When it comes to the oleoresin side, so when I was given 112 crores in domestic and international market was about 400 crores, 400 crores. I made it to 1,800 crores in international. I made it to 1,700 crores domestic.
Wow, that's a miracle.
That's the way I made it because today if you go and meet anyone in the market, they first because my sales team and they go marketing team and they go, they ask, where's Dr. Viju? So the way that I've made the relationship, I always believe in relationship because every customer I see that they'll remember me. I'll do something that they should remember me. Because whenever I come, I'll just give a call. I'll keep them. My PR, I do my PR. Because
keep them connected. Yeah.
Because industry, see, everybody says, Synthite Industries, private limited, has gone to this level. See, it's a lot of hard work behind it. Lot of hard work. I did not see, even recently, about 10 years back, we had operations in Brazil. And we were doing it in a rented place. And I had a plan to make Synthite's own place to production, for our production. So the person who's looking after my place in in Brazil, I told him, his name is Jose. To say, I want to make Synthite's own building and things. Today, we have our own building, our own land, and our own production facility. So I would always recommend people to dream, make it your success. You have to work towards that. Most of the people dream. People are passionate about it, but all these words come out. But how far you work towards that. You may have to.
Very true.
You'll have sleepless nights. You have tough days. You have 101% challenges when you go to different countries. All these things will happen. So seeing it in front, seeing that all these things will happen, then only you should go.
Absolutely. I truly admire, as the next generation, we truly admire the generation that's gone before us, your generation, and especially people like you, not just, claiming or setting goals, but also achieving them. I think this generation has no shortage of dreams and ideas and vision, but actually getting things done, actually putting in that passion in the right place and doing things and getting things over the line is something that I feel many people lack in this generation. But I feel, this interview has been a challenge to actually move forward and actually set goals and achieve them. So thank you for that. And I really want to come to the tail end of this conversation, where I just want to talk about your day-to-day life right now.
See, today, what I talk about, to all my employees, recently I was just dreaming about this, like daily innovation. So all my employees ask me, what is daily innovation, sir? And I said, daily innovation doesn't mean that, you innovate everything every day, QC innovation. I said, I want an HR innovation. I want a QC innovation. I want a R&D innovation. I want a marketing innovation. I want logistics innovation.
Every team
has to make innovations. That's called daily innovation. One of the team has to do one innovation a day. So that brings, because today, three things happens in the world. One is your creativity, and second is the technology, and third is the innovation. So if these three things aligns together, at the same time, you should have the perseverance also together. And you should have control your character also.
Yeah.
Most of the time, what happens is when you go up the ladder, your character changes. You feel that you made everything. No.
Pride gets in.
No. You will never make anything. You are not made anything. I'm telling you. From my life experience, I'm telling you. Why I'm sitting here is because of His grace. Nothing else.
Beautiful.
Nothing else. When a lot of interviews I've done, final word I've said is, because of His grace, I'm here. See, we are sometimes, when you go up the ladder, you feel that, you are something beyond this thing. No, nothing. You should be grounded always.
Yeah.
And I should feel that, a lot of people ask me one question, is that, when your competition is growing, are you not angry with them? I said, no, absolutely not. That's a weakness in us. That's the competition is growing. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Because the weakness in us make the competition is growing.
Yeah.
Because what is the weakness in you? There are a lot of things. A family business always have weaknesses. Because same blood always makes weaknesses.
Yeah.
Difference of opinion, conversation, different thoughts, different style of functioning. All these things comes in because it doesn't. If you are in one blood and you think that everything, I think the same way my brother should think. No, it will never happen.
Yeah.
It will be because all are different constitutions.
Absolutely.
All designed from above, not the biological design. He has designed it for us.
Yeah.
So in that design, you come across, I always tell in my board meetings, before the board meeting, I used to tell, there should be a devil's advocate in any meetings. Because when a project comes in, you should not, everybody say, okay, that's a good project, lovely project, it's seeing good. But there should be a devil's advocate for that.
See from the other side.
See from the other side. So that you'll think better.
Challenge yourself.
Yeah. So that, when you are a devil's advocate, most of the time in my organizations in Synthite, I'm the devil's advocate because when a project comes in, I start learning on the project. not on the right spirits, on the negative spirits. Because you know why? Otherwise, everybody's thinking in the positive spirit, so that you feel that everything is good.
Yeah.
Everything is good. So I said, when I point out this, again, the project team has to go back and learn and come back.
Yeah.
So you are giving me a second time chance for them to make a presentation. So like that, we'll get more wisdom in that. It is not that we are criticizing someone. No, it's not a criticizing at all.
Yeah.
You need to challenge the people.
Covering all sides of the.
Yes.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I'm negative. I'm positive actually, because I want to see that the project is successful. That's it.
Amazing. Amazing. So now, this is how we're going to finish off today's interview. I haven't told you this, but we're going to do a rapid fire question. And I want you to answer the first thing that comes to your mind. All right? This is some questions are going to be fun. Right? So the first question, what is your favorite car of all time?
I would say that I would have used about maybe 120 cars in this short span of my life. And
I can see that you like cars.
I love cars. My favorite car, if you ask me, is the Rolls-Royce Cullinan.
The one that you have now.
I was dreaming for this car for a long, long time.
Okay. Next question. I think Mini Auntie might not like this, but the dream car you haven't bought yet.
The dream car is, it is not the cars actually. I would like to buy a charter flight, like an aircraft, yeah. Because when I was doing my pre-degree in Marivanas College, I flew about 3 times in the flight training. There's a flight training.
Yeah, because you wanted to be a pilot.
I wanted to become a pilot actually. So I went there and I did 3 days training, and I gave the 1 month amount. My father came to know about it. I said, "You are not sent to fly. You are sent to study. Go and study your subject, and then we'll decide whether you want to fly or we want to do business." So that's how I stopped it.
So that's your next. What do you have next in sight? Okay, one country you would love to visit again.
I would say Australia.
Australia. Which part of Australia did you like?
Sydney.
Sydney. Okay, amazing. Next one. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I sleep around 3 hours, so I can't say that I'm an early bird.
Okay. I sleep 8 hours. I think I should leave the interview now. Next one. Do you prefer coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee. All right. Who is one business leader you admire deeply?
Jacobs.
Okay.
You know why?
Huh.
I started reading this book several times during my coming back. I started, what is marketing? What is marketing? My question was always, wherever I get anything about marketing, I used to dream out, read and dream for that.
Okay.
Jacobs has told one thing in that book: don't copy anything what I do. You get an ideas, but don't copy everything. What is correct?
Be inspired, but don't
Be
copy.
inspired by that.
Amazing. What is one Bible verse that has stayed with you throughout the years?
Isaiah 43, 1 to 4.
Yeah, powerful. What is your go-to comfort food?
You can say purely Kerala. Kerala style food.
Nadan.
Food that I like.
What do you like in Nadan?
For the breakfast, I would love to have put and kadala, or for the lunch.
My dad's favorite, same.
Then lunch, I would like to have rice, some fish curry, and some meat.
Do you crave for Nadan food when you're traveling?
Very much.
Very much.
I'll find out what's the Nadan food that you get wherever I go.
You can't take the Malayali out of you.
No, I cannot take Malayali out of me.
Okay, what is one word to describe your leadership style?
One word. I like people.
Wow.
Because I come this long way. I always say leadership is one thing, is you're taking your team, your organization as one, and love them as God loved us.
It's very profound. Amazing. Last question that I want to ask. What is something people would be surprised to learn about you?
This miracle change.
Yeah.
They all knew when I was young and the career that I was taking. But today, a lot of people are, through, I think about, I had 40 lakh viewers in my Instagram. So it's not an Instagram, but, I'm talking about the way I deal with people. I humble myself down, and I don't want to. People might say that, Viju is running in a Rolls and all, but it's all from my hard work. And as a human being, I should also enjoy my life.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Amazing. Yeah, so there you have it. It has been a truly awesome time with Dr. Viju Jacob. Thank you for answering all these questions. I know that the next generation have been superly inspired by this. But more than that, when we look at your life, it's a story of God's grace. How God takes a person who's had a lot of setbacks, a lot of challenges, tough times, even within the family, even with the close people that he was surrounded with, but, just taking that in the right spirit and moving forward. And I believe what the Bible says, what Jesus said, nothing is impossible for those who believe. And I believe more things are in store for you, and more things are in store for the people watching us. So thank you for watching this interview. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Make sure that you're subscribed in all our platforms, on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, and every other platform. You can follow Dr. Viju Jacob on his Instagram. I will leave those details in the bio as well. And you can also follow our podcast on Instagram. So thank you for joining us once again. Take care. God bless.